Hello and welcome to this module where we are going to be discussing how we can adjust working time in a resource calendar. In an earlier module, we saw how we assign a calendar to a particular project. The default calendar in MS Project is the standard calendar whose working hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Monday to Friday, with no work on Saturday and Sunday. So if you assign a specific calendar to a project, all the resources that you create also automatically get a calendar assigned as well. So in other words, project is going to create a resource calendar for every work resource. So whether it's a person or whether it's a machine, all it does is duplicate that standard calendar and makes a copy for every work resource. So initially, the working time settings of the resource calendars will exactly match those on the project calendar, which, like we said, the default is the standard base calendar. So if all the working times of your resources match the working times on the project calendar, then you do not need to edit any of the resource calendars. So in other words, if we are using a standard calendar and all our people and equipment is going to work from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., then we do not need to make any changes. However, chances are that some of your resources will need exceptions to the working time in the project calendar. And such exceptions could include a flex time work schedule. In other words, a person doesn't have a specific set schedule. Then also some vacation time as well might need to be accounted for. And then there are times when a resource is not available to work because of things like training or maybe attending of conferences. So whereas that person's normal working time is 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, but for one reason or the other, during a certain period on the project plan, that person is not going to be available. So in that case, you need to edit the resource calendar for that particular person or that particular piece of equipment. There are certain times when a resource is only available, say 50% of the time. You might be tempted to then adjust the working times from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. That sounds a reasonable step. However, it is better to simply set their maximum units to 50%. Remember on our resources table where we were setting the maximum capacity and we left it at the default of 100%. So if the person is available from 8 a.m. to 12, instead of changing his calendar, we simply change his capacity from 100% to 50%. If any changes are made in the project calendar, which by default is the standard calendar, those changes, they'll automatically reflect in all the resource calendars that were derived from that project calendar. So in other words, if we decided our standard project calendar, we are now working on a Saturday, then all the resources that had been assigned to that project, their calendars will also change and have Saturday as a new working day. There are certain instances where you might find that you are having a pool of resources, there are quite many, and you are making exactly the same adjustment to their calendar. So instead of going to change their calendars one by one, what you can do is you can simply change the base calendar for those resources and then you adjust the one calendar. So in other words, besides the standard calendar, you create a new base calendar. That is where you make the changes that will be applicable to all these people that need exactly the same change. So you are no longer going to be changing the individual resource calendars, but you simply change one customized calendar. So what we are going to do next is we are going to go back to our project and we are going to see how we can change or adjust the resource calendar for one or two of our resources. If you recall, for us to work on calendars, we need to go to the project tab. Then on the project tab, we go to the properties group, and then under properties group, we go to change working time. The first field says for standard project calendar. If we wanted to change the whole project calendar, then we change this standard. But what we need to do is to change the calendar for a specific resource. So we then click on the drop down, and you see that all the resources that we created, they are now available here. So these are the resource calendars which have been generated from this standard calendar. So would like to take one particular resource, and let's say the architect. The architect is going to have a different calendar. So what we can do is you can either leave him with the standard calendar, and then we create exceptions for him, right? We leave him with the standard calendar and then we create exceptions for him, or you could take a different calendar. You can see that we've got the night shift calendar, the one that starts in the evening and ends in the morning. Then you have got the 24-hour calendar, which is running throughout the day and night. So what we are going to do is we are going to leave him with the standard calendar, but then we are going to put exceptions for him to say this person only works on Mondays and Tuesdays. So in other words, all the other days of the week he's not going to be working. So since we need to change the days of the week that this person works, we go to this tab that says work weeks. So the work weeks help us to define what his working week looks like. So we go to details. So you can see that it now shows us his days. There are defaults here. Use times from base calendar for these days. Set days to non-working time. Set days to these specific working times. So in other words, this one, set days to non-working time, it means if I choose a Wednesday, for example, I will set it to a non-working time. So for now, you can see that Sunday already does not have any work happening. Monday has got these working times. Tuesday has got working times. Wednesday also has working times. But remember, we said this person must only work Mondays and Tuesdays. So I'm going to set Wednesday to non-working time. Then Thursday, also set it to non-working time. Same with Friday. So it means that this person is only going to be available on Mondays and Tuesdays. So what we have done is we have customized the working week for this individual. So we simply eliminated some days. We could have said he works from 8 to 12. Let's go back to details. Let's say on Monday, this is where you could have said set days to this specific work time. So if you come there, it now shows you the times. Then you could remove this 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and he only remains with 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So this is how you customize your working week and your working days for this specific person. So let's make him to use the times from the base calendar. And we go back and we say okay and okay. So for this particular resource, we have actually changed his working calendar. So if we want to check that we have not altered anybody else, we simply go back to the project tab, and then under the properties we go to change working time, and then we look at the standard calendar, and then we go to the work weeks, and the default, we can see Sunday nothing, Monday has got the working time from morning to 5 p.m. until Friday, and Saturday is not working. So the standard calendar is not affected. We can check another resource, say the general worker. So it says, do you want to save calendar base standard? No. General worker, we go to detail. Also Sunday no work, Monday full day, Tuesday full day, Wednesday full day, Thursday full day, Friday full day, Saturday no work. So we only changed the calendar for the architect. If I can go back and say no to saving. Architect, details, Sunday no work, Monday full day, Tuesday full day, Wednesday no work, Thursday no work, Friday no work, Saturday no work, and we close. Right, so you can see that you are able to customize the calendar for one specific individual. But like we said, if you have got more than one person that needs the same change, then what you'd rather do is you create a new base calendar and then you adjust it to the conditions of that group that need that unique change. Then you simply assign that new base calendar to them. So how you assign it, if you go back to project and properties and change working time, if you pick, say, the bricklayer, it now says what is his base calendar, right? What is his base calendar? So for now we've got only 3, night shift, 24-hour and standard. So if I now change him and I say he's going on the night shift, I can then put a group of 3 people on night shift and make adjustments to that calendar, or I could simply say create a new calendar here, and then you give the new calendar a name and we call it, say, bricklayers calendar. And then it says, do you want to create a new base calendar or to make a copy of? Then you can choose whether you are copying the standard or the 24-hour. So that we do not have to start from scratch, I will make a copy of the standard. So when you make a copy of the standard, we are now using that bricklayers calendar for the bricklayers. Then you can now go and change the values on that working week for the bricklayers calendar. So I say details. So these bricklayers, let's say they only work from 8 in the morning until 1600 hours. So for Monday, I'll say set days to these specific working times. So I'll go to the last time and put 4 p.m. and then I go to Tuesday, set days to these working times and set it to 4 p.m. as well. Wednesday, set days to these specific working times. I change it to 4 p.m. Thursday, same thing, set days to specific working hours, change it to 4 p.m. And Friday, we want them to dismiss at lunchtime, so we set it to these specific hours, and then we simply press delete to get rid of the afternoon shift. So now their times are set to finish at 4 p.m. and on Friday they finish at 12. So this is now the bricklayers calendar. You can now go back to the calendar for the specific resources. Under calendars, change working time. Now this time I select the person called the bricklayer, and I say he's using the bricklayers calendar. So if there were more people who need exactly the same shift, then you assign them the same base calendar, which is the bricklayers calendar. So I hope that is clear. So for now, I'm going to put our bricklayers back on standard and say OK. So we have seen how we can go in and change the calendar for an individual. We've also seen how we can create a new calendar so that we assign it to a group of people that need a customized working calendar that is different from the rest of the crew. So I need you to take some time to try out these exercises on your calendars. Try and see if you can adjust working hours, if you can adjust like we did for the architect, make them to work only on Monday and Tuesday, and also try creating the bricklayers calendar as well. In the next video, we are going to be talking about the cost resources.